what women don't want to take care of a fucking man baby. Some of the advice to try to help men with relationships is be more masculine. But then when they expand on that idea, what they mean is be more stoic, not emotionally vulnerable at all.
Because it's one thing when you go through abuse for yourself, but it's another thing when you have a dependent.
Yeah.
This is how daddy issues start. It's not just the dad's fault. A lot of the times it's also a woman who's not strong enough to say, you cannot talk to our dependent like that.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Yeah, it's interesting. You'll stick up for someone else in a situation where you won't stick up for yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me at least. But some women, though, they won't stick up for themselves. They also won't stick up for their dependents.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, is very not okay. And that, to me, is another reason why it is important as a woman to have your own life together, to be able to know if you have to walk away, you can. And that's probably why, too, a lot of men are less likely to want to be in a relationship with me, because I can walk away.
Yeah, you can walk if they're dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to put up with it because it's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay. It's not okay to me. If we ever had kids, it's not okay to the kids.
Yep.
My dog, it's not fair to her. It's not okay. I think women do have a responsibility, because we are in a double income kind of economy now, to be strong enough to know when to stand up and say no. You know, I think this whole idea, this whole man-hating society that's coming out, I think that's way over the top, because men struggle too. The whole concept is, I think, this is my traditional belief, and this is where my Bible thumping kind of comes back in a little, but I think a man is meant to be the head of the household, and a woman should support him. And that doesn't mean she's his subordinate.
No. Look, I have plenty of critiques for women. I'm not a big feminist, and I agree with you, actually. I think it is guys' jobs to lead, actually. It's just, recently, I've been going down this fucking red pill arc where there's been triggering the fuck. I feel like I have more feminist views now from watching red pill videos than ever. But no, I have plenty of critiques for women too.
Yeah.
And I think you're absolutely right. I think men have a predilection for leadership, and I think that women can really benefit from that if they can accept leadership from men. If a man knows what he's doing
If
too.
a man knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
A man that's an asshole, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
But I think what it comes down to is a partnership. It should be a partnership. A man trying to lead and a woman trying to support. And in support, that also means you call a man out on his shit.
Yeah.
You know, you don't just say, oh, whatever you say, let me just follow. But it means too, when he's fucking up, you tell him you're fucking up.
Yeah.
Pull it together, because you're in charge here. And I think it's just a balance. And I think as a society in America, we kind of have gotten to this point of where let's just bash the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And we're not helping anything.
No, I think you're totally right. I think it's really too bad, because right now, we're in such a weird spot right now where I feel like men, they don't have anybody to look up to for mentorship.
Yeah.
And society is really trying to emasculate them. Mm-hmm. They feel like anything they do is either gaslighting or toxic masculinity or something like that.
Yeah.
And all the people that are talking about leadership have this cartoon idea of what a leader is like it's out of a Rambo movie or something. You know, it's a guy with a knife in his fucking teeth, just barking orders at people. And there's nobody that can kind of represent what mature leadership looks like. What do you think women's responsibilities are in a relationship?
I think a woman, she should be nurturing. You know, I think she should be a support. You know, I think there's something beautiful about a man having a long day and coming home to someone who's there to love him. I think that gender roles are a little bit different now because the economy is fucked and women can work. And I love that. I'm a working woman. I love being able to work. And so I think, there is, this idea of a man coming home to a woman is kind of in flux now because women are out working too and they get tired also and they want to come home and also have love.
Yeah. Just to let you know, all the trad con men right now have the biggest boners right now listening to you talk about
trad con?
Traditional conservative.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh my God. But that's where I think there needs to be some adjustment. Like I think it still is important for a woman to nurture her man. And that's why all this like hate man talk is not helping anything.
Yeah.
I just think that there needs to be a little bit of, men kind of need to support their women too though. Like women have bad days also. And like a man, I think it's okay for a man to be emotional, there needs to be like a level of vulnerability for the man so the woman can be vulnerable as well.
Jesus Christ, this shit annoys me endlessly. The advice right now coming from guys that usually don't have any relationship experience is like to be more masculine. We kind of talked about this a little bit off camera, but some of the advice to try to help men with relationships is be more masculine. But then when they expand on that idea, what they mean is be more stoic, not emotionally vulnerable at all. And again, this is all red pill stuff. I know I'm really fucking getting on red pill guys, but that's what I've been looking into the past couple of months, so fuck you guys. When in actuality, dude, guys are already stoic enough. Women are so much more emotionally developed than men already. Their emotional intelligence and social skills are already above men. So to be giving men the advice of ignore emotional connection is like the worst fucking advice they could possibly get. They're just gonna have more superficial relationships. What women don't want to take care of a fucking man baby.
Yeah.
And I feel like all this advice is just cranking out. All these dudes are gonna go to the gym, try to get like more money because they think that that's what women want, like big biceps and like zeros in their bank account, and then not know how to have an emotional conversation with a woman. No woman fucking wants that.
No.
It's not that they don't want masculine men, it's that emotional expression doesn't mean you're not a masculine man. And like that is the worst advice I think men are getting 100%, right now.
100%. And like don't get me wrong, like my friends would probably laugh if they heard me say this because I don't like a sensitive man. Like if we're gonna go somewhere and you're gonna start bawling your eyes out.
I'm not saying be a fucking pussy.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It's your job as a man to have emotional control.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest things you bring to a relationship because women have more like emotional variability. They have higher highs and they have lower lows. As a man, you do have to remain emotionally controlled.
Yeah.
When shit is hard, you can't be the one losing your shit, okay?
Yeah.
So I don't mean be a pussy, but I also don't mean not be able to emotionally connect, have an emotional conversation with your partner.
Definitely.
These are not the same things.
No.
Okay? You don't need to be a super sensitive fucking crybaby to be able to emotionally connect with your partner.
Yeah. Having those emotional talks, talking about your struggles and vulnerability.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, for me, at this age, that's kind of my make it or break it point. It's like, can I talk to you when I'm having a hard day? But also, can you talk to me when you're having a hard day?
I don't understand how if you're with a partner that isn't emotionally expressive, I don't think I'd feel like they understood me. I wouldn't want to tell them something that was emotional. I'd be like, this person, they don't get it.
Yeah.
I would look for that outside of the relationship.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I think, again, that's the challenging part, tying it all back around to being a high performer, especially high performers dating other high performers, is that, again, it's the challenge of you have such a high regard of this person and you hold yourself in such a high regard. How do both of you let those walls down and say, I'm really struggling today?
Yeah.
It's really hard. It's really, really hard.
Have you ever tried dating like a pretty simple person?
Yes.
Yeah?
I have.
How did it go? I've done the same.
I will say I was with someone for a good amount of time and we had a pretty good flow going.
Yeah, same.
It was during quarantine though. Oh. So now that I
none of that shit counts.
About that, now that I think about that, no wonder it went so smooth. And it was fine, but now that I think about how it was in quarantine, maybe it would have been different otherwise.
How simple are we talking? Like,
well, how simple are you talking? Define simple.
Hey, girl, this is your answer.
Well, because now I have to go through so many of them.
Oh my God. We'll cut that part out.
Yeah,
So I've dated a girl, traditional Catholic.
Okay.
She was really smart. She didn't have like grand aspirations about life. She wanted marriage. She wanted kids. It was a good relationship, but it was unsustainable.
Yeah.
There was a lot of areas in life that we couldn't relate. There was a lot of conversations we just couldn't have.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't understand. Being highly ambitious is very strange to, I think, normal people. Yeah, so we couldn't relate.
Yeah.
We were super in love. I loved dating her.
Really?
Oh yeah, she was awesome. She was like the sweetest person too. But yeah, long term, we just didn't have long-term alignment. So it was after that relationship that I was like, I just can't, there's no way that I can date someone who's not also like decently ambitious, because we wouldn't understand each other.
Yeah, I mean, that was similar with like my relationship where, you know, he was simple, didn't have many aspirations, and the nice thing was that like he was always there, you know, whenever I needed him.
They're always available.
There,
yeah,
you know, like I could go travel, I'd come back, he'd still be there. You know, you know, very reliable and dependable, and that was great.
Totally.
But he actually made a point to me that has stuck with me to this day, and he said, you know, we can't control who we fall in love with, and he was saying that because we weren't in love with each other. And I think to this day we could have had a stable relationship.
Totally.
But I don't think we would have ever fallen in love because
you probably would have had like a 6 out of 10 relationship. It would have been great.
Yeah.
Right? A little bit above average. Stable, easy. That's probably better than most people's relationships.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad relationship.
You know,
right?
well, and that's the thing. It's like, I think there is a little, and this is why I've kind of stopped being like, well, what do I want in a person? What do I want in a relationship? It's because like, there's not this perfect relationship, you know, this idea of the one or something that we're all waiting for. You kind of have these choices, and you can have a good, easy, stable thing and have the kids and do all of that. Or you can be like insanely in love with someone who's really bad for you and maybe lasts like a month, but it was the most impactful
toxic
thing.
Dick.
Yeah, you know, it's like, and I think ultimately, I know for me, my focus is how can I just be a better person? How can I be a better, healthier person and treat the people that I'm coming into contact with, the people I'm going on dates with better?
Yeah.
You know, like I've ghosted people, totally didn't mean to, just completely forgot they ever texted me, you know?
There's so many people texting.
So many
tough,
people.
You know?
I mean,
it's hard being popular,
You know, how can I remember your text when that guy texted me and then that
he's
guy
probably
texted me?
He's probably the 3rd Tom this week. I mean, fuck, like, Jesus, right? How are you supposed to remember all these names? I know, I understand.
It's really bad.
I know. It's a tough life.
Well, and that's the problem for me too. It's like, I do want to be with somebody who excites me because I don't want to get bored and just meet somebody else, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm not going to commit to you. Like I could get a boyfriend tomorrow who's a super nice guy and treated me really well.
Yeah.
But if I'm not in love with you, I'm going to send you into therapy, you know? I'm going to fuck you up, and I'm not trying to hurt somebody else. So, you know, for me, it's like, I just want to be the best I can be, do right by people as best as I can. And then I just kind of trust one day I'll just meet someone I can't live without, who is ideally good to me too, and like can't live without me either.
I used to think like, I don't want to date anybody who's like dramatic or crazy. That was like the thing when I was like in my 30s. I was like, no more crazy girls. I don't want any more drama in my life. I just want like a really nice, like chill girl. And then I realized after a few years that actually I kind of do want someone who's like a little bit toxic, which I was like, no way, like that's like, I need to, like that's an immature perspective on relationships. I need a really healthy, blah, 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 which true, like you don't want someone who's like totally fucking insane.
Yeah.
But I realized that for me to be like interested in someone, I actually do need them to be like a little bit wild, like just a little bit toxic. Just a little bit, because otherwise it's fucking boring. And then I end up like out at a bar, like fucking looking at some girl who's like, oh, this girl's crazy. Why am I so attracted to this girl? So yeah, it is tough. It's tough to get like everything you need in the same person. I mean, that's why I usually do open relationships. Because I almost feel like it's unfair to want every single thing that you need in like one person. So I feel like that's a lot to ask sometimes.
It is. And that's where I find, and you know, part of the reason I'm monogamous and I'm okay with that is because I am not looking for another person to be everything I need. Because I also have my friends, I have my job. Another reason why I wouldn't give up my job.
See, this is such a healthy way to look at it. Yeah.
And this is why,
I'm the toxic one. What do you think is a toxic trait that you're like kind of into that guys have? I feel like this is going to need to be cut out.
Well, I will say that a lot of the guys I've dated recently are in therapy, and that seems to be...
That's not a toxic trait. That's the opposite of a toxic trait.
I guess that, yeah. Things I'm in therapy for aren't great. Like, a toxic trait that I'm into. I'm trying to think if I'm into the trait or if it was just the person and they happen to have the trait.
You're into just toxic people in general. They just happen to have some toxic traits.
Well, okay. I will say, I don't want to say that because then I don't want guys to start treating me like that.
Yes.
Never mind.
No, but you do. This is a trait you're into.
I'm into it, but I hate it. It fucks me up. It drives me crazy. And then I have to like try to not be like a crazy girl and like...
Oh, it's when they ignore you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I fucking love that too.
I know. I'm like, but I hate it. Like, and it's getting to the point that I get older. Like, yeah, it makes me into them. But I'm getting to the point where it's like, I'm going to call your ass out and like, don't expect to get another shot with me after that, you know?
It's weird because I know that if you're an ambitious person, I know that people oftentimes are not ignoring me on purpose because I ignore people. It's not on purpose.
Yeah,
it's because I have a lot of shit to do.
Yeah.
So, like, sometimes I get left on red, and it's people that I know want to hang out with me, but they'll fucking leave me on red, and I'm like, girl, I know you saw that shit. Like, I know you want to hang out, but it does, man. It even makes me want it more. Some of the guys that I've dated recently that I am really into don't have time to hang out with me. Yeah.
And it pisses me the fuck off. And I'm so into them. And it's like, but, you know, busy, yes, maybe, but also like pretty mentally has mental health issues and is struggling with something like depression, you know? Which seems to be the thing I'm into. Like, I seem to like guys with like ADHD or like depression or like bipolar, you know? Manic
depressive people are some of the most interesting people that I've ever been around. Yeah. Because their manic phases, they are so interesting. They're excited to do everything.
God,
They want to have all these cool conversations.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, this is the coolest person ever.
Yeah.
And then their depressive phase kicks in. These motherfuckers are gone for weeks.
They're gone.
I'm like, are you dead? Like, what the fuck?
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's one that gets me, and I hate it.
This is something that I'm having to deal with. I've had to set some pretty strong boundaries around like partying, drugs, alcohol, all that stuff for the past few years. The problem is that people that have addictive personalities, they're awesome people to hang around.
They're addictive people.
Exactly. Unfortunately, they are oftentimes into heavy drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
And that, especially if you're a high performer, you really got to have strong boundaries around that.
You do.
So,
yeah.
A lot of my friends right now just don't drink at all. Anthony DeRico doesn't drink. Some of the girls I see don't drink at all. Like zero alcohol use. So, I'm like,
I mean, that's why I'm an athlete with Ariel. Because, you know, I keep myself on such a strict, like, routine and schedule.
Dude, you're asking me, like, what the fuck? Is there caffeine in these?
For real. Like, I definitely splurge on food, but my day-to-day diet is very regimented. Like, you know, I go out, but not a lot. You know,
Same.
If I don't sleep a lot one night, I catch up on sleep. I, like, try to get my 8 hours in. But I'm very, very strict with myself because I know if I slip, like...
Dude, you're fucked for days. That might ruin your week. Like,
that could ruin my life. Like,
okay, calm
I
down.
could
No.
easily like get fucking crazy, make some bad decisions.
If because I still like to drink sometimes. If I get really fucked up one night, I could be hungover for like 2 or 3 days. Like it'll tank my productivity. Definitely, the next day's fucked. I'm not doing shit that next day.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like 2 or 3 days. So yeah, it really does. You really do have to be strict.
Yeah,
with,
I mean,
like,
I don't really
partying
have
and
a
stuff.
problem with alcohol and drugs and stuff.
Listen, I saw the heroin needles in the bathroom. Okay, you don't have to fucking bullshit me. Okay.
Oh my God. I one shot and I'm wasted. Like, that's all it takes for
True,
me.
you're like fucking 87 pounds.
Yeah. So I don't drink because it's like, then I can't work.
You were on the Fresh and Fit podcast, right? How was that interview for you?
I found it to be quite comical.
Who were you on there with?
I was on with Justin Waller and the two dudes.
And what kind of questions were they asking you?
The theme was all about like flying out to, like, if a guy flies you out to see him, do you owe him sex?
What a I'm already triggered. Fuck.
But I was
That's
like,
the theme of the episode?
that was the theme of the episode.
Fuck my life.
So that's what they were talking about. Like, you know, if a guy pays to fly you out, you know, and he expects you to sleep with him, should you or should you not sleep with him?
Oh my God.
So.
Okay, what what did you say? Like,
I was
first of all,
like-
how could this be an entire episode? I feel like this would be a 5-minute episode. No, you don't have to fuck him. Episode over. Like,
Yeah, literally.
What is the fucking debate?
Yeah,
Oh, fuck.
no, it was pretty dumb. But my argument was like, he's not gonna buy my plane ticket. I'm buying my own because if I get there and
Who
I don't
cares? What
like
if he
him,
does
I'm leaving.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know. Yeah, I know it was dumb, but whatever, you know.
They must have asked you like some other questions though. I know they have like a
We
whole
did.
list.
I don't remember too much. It was a couple years ago, but I know that we talked briefly about me being a burlesque dancer.
Oh boy.
And this was before I was working with
What they
Playboy.
had to say about this?
I don't remember what they said, but I just remember being like, I love my job. I make my own money.
Yeah.
No one's gonna tell me otherwise. Like, and if you can't deal with it, grow the fuck up and don't date me. Like, get over it. And
I always love it when guys are like, oh, you're on OnlyFans, or you're a stripper, or you're a burlesque dancer. Like, oh, I would never date a girl who's a burlesque dancer. And you always hear this shit from guys that no burlesque dancer would ever fucking date, right? These are not like super like hot. Justin Waller's a hot guy. He's really conservative, and he has he does not like OnlyFans or any of that stuff. He's super opposed to that. But most of the time, guys are like, I would never date an OnlyFans chick. I'm like, bro, no OnlyFans chick is trying to date you anyway. Like, calm the fuck down.
I mean, I will say, before, when I started burlesque, I always had guys that I was seeing telling me that they couldn't date me. They couldn't commit to me because of my job.
Because you're a burlesque dancer.
Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
1 year, I had 7 men
triggered.
tell me that they loved me, but that they couldn't commit to me.
You know what, though? I'll fucking tell you this. I think actually that's a really, really good way to screen out
Oh, for sure.
men who
Definitely.
are either going to be crazy jealous
Yeah.
or have problems with self-confidence.
Yeah.
Now, OnlyFans, I can see why some guys would be like, actually, I don't think I want my girl getting like fucked on camera.
Yeah.
I can understand.
I get that too.
I get that. I don't know if I would be cool with that. But if my girlfriend was a hot burlesque dancer,
Yeah.
and you're not confident enough to be like okay with that, dude, you're a fucking loser.
That's what blew my mind too. I was like, I'm on stage. Like,
Like,
I
your
don't
tits aren't even
understand.
out.
Yeah. OnlyFans, because I've worked with other OnlyFans girls, I understand actually why a guy would not want to commit to a girl with an OnlyFans. And that's why if I am dating a guy, and I'll tell him I have an OnlyFans, and I'll tell him like what I do and show him, and like,
you're not getting like bukkake on Only.
I do not do collabs. I do not have other people on my OnlyFans because I don't want that pressure either. Are you kidding me? Like, no, thank you. So, and I'm like also like for as sexual as my career is, like I don't sleep around, you know. Yeah. I go on dates, but like I have to really like you. It has to be a really good date for me to be like, yes, give
me the dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since we just trash talked Red Pill and Fresh and Fit so much, what do you think there's anything that they get right? Like, is there some perspectives that you appreciate?
I feel like all my girlfriends would bash me for this.
Fuck them.
I do like a strong man. I do not like if I can tell a man what to do and he listens to me every single step of the way. I don't like that. I don't want to feel like I'm like in control necessarily. Like I like a man that can lead. You know, I like a man that says this is what we're gonna do. I agree with that. And it goes back to what I was saying. I think like, you know, a man's job is to lead and a woman's job is to support, not, you know, be a little bitch, but like, you know, I like a man who is a man. I don't want a child, you know?
Do you listen to Teal Swan at all?
No.
She has this really interesting perspective called positive ownership. It's exactly what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. It's where a man leads and the man owns his partner, but the woman's not subservient to him. It's leadership as an act of service. So he's taking initiative, planning things without being asked, making sure he's responsible for her physical and emotional safety. He's taking ownership of her, but not in like this toxic way. Yeah. I love how she talks about it, and it's coming from a woman, so it's like, it doesn't, if it's a guy talking about ownership, it gets a little weird. The way she explains it makes a lot of sense. And it's clear that it's something you would do for someone that you loved and actually cared for, right? Not someone that you're trying to manipulate. No. It's someone that you have their best interest in mind. Mm-hmm. So all the leadership decisions that you're making is for their benefit, not to fucking look cool or to get what you want out of her or manipulate her or something like that.
Look, I love a guy that's a little jealous. I do not like it when a guy is like, oh, I'm okay if you want to sleep with other guys. Like, that's such a turn off for me. Yeah. Yeah, like, obviously, you know, I modeled for Playboy. I have an OnlyFans, and I'm a burlesque dancer. I do like if people look at me, and I'm very comfortable with my body. You like attention,
right? That's fine.
I like, you know, I enjoy being looked at, but I don't like people talking to me. I don't want guys touching me. I mean, everyone's always like, you would make so much money as a stripper. And I could never, because my thing is I like people looking at me, but I'm not out to make you feel special. I'm not out to like lap dance on you and like make you feel good.
First of all, being a stripper is like, fucking, what is it, like 2001? Dude, we have OnlyFans now. Okay.
Oh my God. I mean, I love some great pole dancing, you know, but...
I see, it's off camera. There's literally a pole right here. My cameras are on a pole.
Yeah. Like, I love being with like a guy who like looks like he would kill a man if he tried to touch me, you know?
Do you remember the photos of that convicted murderer that were going around the internet? This guy's got like blue eyes. He's a convicted murderer, and there's this photo of him. He's really attractive. He's got fucking face tattoos, neck, he's fucking teardrops everywhere. And the comments that women were leaving underneath this guy's photo, they were like, I'd let him murder my pussy, or like all this stuff. Like, these girls are like super into him. I think it's true. I think women do want a guy that can like do violence to other people, but not them, right? Kill everyone else, but protect me. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
This is actually one thing I'll give fucking Fresh and Fit and Red Pill community some props. They popularized understanding evolutionary psychology more than anything I've ever seen. Like, when I grew up, conservatives didn't even believe in evolution, right? Now, everybody knows shit about evolution, and I think it's because the kind of Red Pill community is like, if you want to understand women, you have to understand evolutionary psychology. So I'll give you guys some props there.
I didn't know that they talked about that. But
all the time. Cool. Holy shit, nonstop.
I support that
they
also,
talk about
actually.
evolution non-fucking stop now. It's hilarious. Yeah, okay, so you want a convicted felon. Got it. Okay.
Well, let's not get carried away.
That's your toxic trait right there. That's your, I want a guy to be a potential murderer. That's what I'm into.
No, my ex was a convicted felon. My ex-husband.
There you go. Okay, you clearly do like them.
Which is not what I'm going for.
Sure, yeah, no. You've dated them in the past, but you don't want that anymore. Got it. Okay, we believe you.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not judgmental about a person's past for sure, but
clearly.
But mine was different. So, I think it's, what were they in prison for? Is like, who were you trying to kill?
Not
exactly?
pedophilia.
No.
Right, I don't want any pedophiles.
No domestic violence.
No domestic violence.
That's a big
Maybe
thing.
like some guy tried to mug my girlfriend and then he killed the mugger. You're okay with that, right?
Ideally not kill.
Okay, accidentally. Let's say you just gave him like a stiff right.
Beat him up.
Okay.
I'm into that. Probably is my toxic trait.
They like to blame things like feminism, pornography. What's the other one they blame? Oh, OnlyFans, right? They have these kind of general critiques about how the things in society that are kind of ruining relationships on the female side. What do you think about that?
I'm honestly not a huge feminist. I'm all about women's rights and women being able to work, women having a say, women being equal. I think the whole feminist movement is a bit extreme. I'm not one of those women should take over the world,
Women don't need men, that kind of idea.
Yeah, I'm not that at all. I was just telling my lesbian friend the other day, I love men. I think there are plenty of good men in the world.
This should be the first question that I ask women if I'm on a date. Be like, do you genuinely love men? I think there's a lot of women that they really don't like men.
There's a lot of women that hate men.
They want to be in a relationship with a man, but broadly speaking, they don't like them.
They hate them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't I think a good man is a beautiful thing. I want someone who will protect me and provide for me and love me.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. And I think that there are men out there. I don't seem to choose them, but I think they're out there,
Yes. On the flip side, I know a lot of guys that they don't love women in general.
Yeah.
They think of them more as a sexual conquest. Yeah. Or even if it's not that, they really want a girlfriend, but they want it because of what it says about them, right? They want arm candy, or they want a beautiful woman because they know that people will see them and be like, oh, that guy must be successful. Look at how attractive his girlfriend is. But they're not really thinking about what kind of a person am I? What do I bring to the table? How can I enhance someone else's life? Yeah. It's more I want to get something. I want to get this girl. I want to get sex. And I think it takes a long time for that to go away for men. They're stuck in that mindset for a long time.
Yeah.
And the red pill doesn't help. Yeah. Fuck you guys.
I mean, that's true.
Do you think people should care about body count?
No.
What's yours?
I can't share that publicly.
No, you don't have to. What do you think mine is?
Are you 200?
Holy shit!
Oh, no. Too high? 100?
Next question. Do you think social media is kind of fucking up relationships right now?
100%.
Yeah,
my best relationships are when we don't follow each other on social media.
Really?
Yeah. 100%.
I'm kind of torn between this because I like to be able to see what someone's life is like. Honestly, and I know that social media is not necessarily, it's not an honest representation of your life.
Yeah.
It's the highlights, right?
Yeah.
But if I look at your social media and even the highlights are kind of boring, what's your real life like? I think it's helpful to screen people. Also, if I look at your social media and it's all fucking church, right? We're probably not gonna get along. But I think it's doing this weird thing with women. Tell me if you agree with this. I think that social media is giving women this false sense of male attention. They get a ton of superficial attention on social media. They translate that into, oh, I could potentially get long-term interest from these men.
Yeah.
And that is 100% not true.
Yeah.
So you have women that are getting attention from football players and famous people, and they think, oh man, I could date these people. and they could not.
Yeah.
And I think it gives them a really false sense of what kind of partner they should look for.
I mean, yeah.
So I think it's rotting some girls' brains.
I mean, sure. Yeah, definitely. For me, at least, because, obviously my social media is like very sexual.
Yeah.
It just is. So I love meeting someone who doesn't see my social media.
Who has not seen your social media,
and just meets me.
Because they would have, the opinion that they would have of you would be totally wrong, right? It wouldn't fit
not fully, because my recent relationship, like, he saw my social media, but he also went on a 4-hour date with me in the morning.
Yeah.
And, took time to talk to me and was able to separate, like, that's what she does for work, this is who she is. And some people are capable of that.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't, but that's why majority of the time I prefer if they're not on my social media, because that's not who I am. It's a part of me, but it's like a snapshot, And then two, I tend to date a lot of guys who are also very popular, more so than me. And so I also don't like looking at their social media because I already know that's not a very accurate...
At least you understand that, right?
Yeah.
You don't look at their social media and make the mistake of thinking that that's their true personality, right? That's everything.
Yeah, and that's why I prefer, like, not even... There's just too much that can be left for interpretation and misinterpretation.
Sure.
So, you can't control it. Like, sometimes you meet someone on social media and that goes somewhere, and it can work. I have a friend who is an OnlyFans girl, and her husband DM'd her, and within like 2 weeks they were married, and it's now 4 years later and they have an incredible marriage.
Dude, this is every dude's dream who like subscribes to a girl's OnlyFans. Holy shit.
Yeah, and it's possible,
Wait, he was a subscriber?
Not a subscriber.
Okay.
He DM'd her on Instagram.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And they were already in similar circles, but they met online while she was in England and he was in Australia.
I mean, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast in the first place, was so many girls that we would invite out to our events. Once I got to know them, there was so much more depth. They were so fucking smart. I was like, dude, my opinion of this person was way off. I did an interview with Sadie Schaefer not too long ago. Dude, she's super fucking smart. She has a ton to say. You never would expect that by looking at her social media. Yeah. Ever, right?
Well, I mean, most girls who are making money on OnlyFans are smart because it's a business.
It's a business. I know. I think a lot of people don't.
I think
people think that OnlyFans is like you just dump your tits out and like the money just like comes in, right? It's an actual business.
It's an actual, you have to like be strategic and hustle and know what you're doing. And it's, a lot of it is sales. Like, if anything, OnlyFans girls are really good salespeople.
Yeah, there's like marketing. Like, you have to drive people to your OnlyFans site. It's not like people just like find you randomly on the internet. What are some things guys do that give you the ick?
Well, not responding back.
Ew.
I don't like that. Saying you're going to hang out and not. I don't like that. I don't love seeing a guy with a lot of other girls.
Do guys flake on you?
Yeah, it does happen. Usually it's guys who like have like mental health issues going on.
Okay. They're not flaking on you, they're in rehab.
But
you said if a guy is like with a bunch of girls. Like,
I'm not a huge fan of that. It's like, if I see a bunch of girls on your social media, it's a pretty big turnoff. Or it's, in my head, I'm already like, this is going to be fun, and that's it. I'm not taking you more serious than that.
This is something that I had to change, actually. When I very first started doing events, I would post all our event stuff on my Instagram, and there'd be girls fucking everywhere. And I had a lot of girls that would comment. I would be talking to them or texting with them for like a couple of days, and then I would send them my IG, and they'd be like, yo, what's up with all these girls? Like, it's kind of fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I would say I'm like running a modeling agency, which we weren't really, but it was so complicated that I wanted to be like, look, like, this is just an event thing, like, don't, but yeah, I got a lot of comments about that. And finally I took down almost all the girls on my Instagram, because it is kind of fucking weird. There'd be like a photo of me in the middle, and there'd be like 27 girls there wearing like Santa hats, and if you don't know me, you might just be like, okay, cool, this guy's just a total fuckboy, like douchebag.
That's why like I'm really careful about posting guys on my social media.
Yeah.
you know.
Well, especially for you, because you have to deal with like subscribers and stuff like that, right? So like your follower count matters, right?
I mean, yeah, but I'm also not like a social media runs my life. If I love somebody, I don't give a fuck.
You'll post that shit.
Fuck yeah.
You'll
Fuck
hard launch them.
I'm sorry, but like I'm not over here like, oh no, like let me hide the person I love the most in the world for these however many people paying $20 a month. I'm sorry, but like...
It sounds like you have a pretty healthy relationship with social media. There's some girls I know that they're making retarded amounts of money with their social media. Mm-hmm. So for them to post their boyfriend, that could cut their income in half, right? So they have to be pretty careful about stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, well, my whole social media is not all about OnlyFans. Like, OnlyFans is only a side of what I do.
Sure.
And my main thing is performing. And so, you know, and that's where my social media identity really lies, is in my performances.
Let's answer some questions from our sexy subscribers.
How do you handle haters?
I don't get that many anymore.
You don't have dudes sending you like weird fucking DMs?
It's actually really hard to get in touch with me because I just don't open my DMs. And Instagram even has
That's how you
them.
handle it. You just don't read them.
I don't read them. I don't open them. If I meet a guy at an event and he starts commenting too much on my stories, I move his to general.
Yep.
Like I have so many in the general. Like it's pretty hard to actually get a hold of me.
Yeah.
I think like a year ago, I had a friend say, hey, my friend is interested in you. Should I tell him to DM you? And I was like, oh, I don't know, but whatever.
Nope, that's going to go straight in the request folder.
Well, I told her, you know, go ahead and like I'll decide later. He DM'd me apparently. I never saw it.
No, because it's in your request bin. It'll automatically go to your request bin. You'll never see it.
Yeah, Instagram never even showed it up to me.
If I do a podcast with a good-looking girl and we talk about relationships at all, now granted, the way I edit sometimes, I do it to kind of trigger people. We will get nasty-ass comments in there. Dudes will be like, I could beat that girl up in a fight, fucking talking about how they look dirty. Yeah, dude. I love to talk shit. So I'll show you some of the DMs.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you some of the DMs that we get. They're hilarious.
I mean, even on the Fresh and Fit podcast, I actually got like a ton of compliments. They were like kind of trashing a bunch of the girls, and like they were like, the girl in the middle's okay though. I was like, thanks.
Well, at the time, were they doing that thing where people could text in? You pay like $100 to text, and their voice just fucking comes over like the loudspeaker, and they can like talk during.
No.
So they do that now. It's like
interesting.
It's like $200.
No, they did like a rating thing though. Yeah, like you could rate all the girls on a scale of 1 to 10.
God, that's so on fucking brand for them. Yeah. Okay. What's the shortest guy you would date? How tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
What's a midget? Like 4'8"? You're close.
No, I'm not close. I think it's like 4'11".
You're 5'2"?
I'm 5'2".
You're 3 inches away from a literal medically diagnosed dwarf.
If you've seen people who are that short,
it's a big difference.
It's a big difference. I used to think like, oh my God, I'm so short. But then I've seen like girls who are that short, and I'm like, it's different.
You're like, girl, I got 2 inches on you.
Yeah.
What's the shortest guy you'd date though? Do they have to be taller than you?
Yes. There's been a couple times that I have caught feelings for a short guy, and I'm not crazy about it.
Yeah.
But if I really like them, I really like them.
Yeah.
I don't like going below 5'11".
Ugh.
I prefer 6 foot.
Yeah.
That's like
at least
ideal.
That's your cutoff, right?
That's my ideal, not higher or lower. Like 6 foot is nice. 5'11's fine.
Well, for as short as you are, I mean, a guy that was like 6'4", I mean, he would like have to really like bend over. Like kissing you would be really,
I had a
awkward.
phase of dating 6'4" guys.
Yes.
But it was only because I would meet them at my shows where I had 8-inch heels on.
There you go.
And then later I would go out with them and then not have the heels on and be like,
well, it's kind of cute because they'd have to pick you up to kiss you.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
I did date this like really famous guy on OnlyFans, and he was covered in tats, and he was tall. I want to say he was 6'7".
Jesus Christ.
But I loved it. He like took me out in Vegas and like had like this little speedster car, and like he matched me when we dressed up, and I was just, it was great. It was really great.
That's a good move.
Yeah, no, it was.
And then he put you in a papoose. and put you on his
Well,
back.
no, that would be weird. No, because I have to, the thing is, the reason why I don't like dating too tall anymore, and I like 6 foot ideally, is because I have to feel like a badass bitch too. I don't want to feel like a child, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I have to feel like strong and powerful, like, you know, I always get a little intimidated when I'm with a really impressive looking man or someone who really stands out, because I'm used to being the one that's always stared at.
Yeah.
So it always causes me to up my game, but I also love it. Like, you know, that's why I have to date men that are like just beautiful.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, naturally. How could I not?
Yeah.
So that's my toxic trait. I love beautiful men.
I love good-looking men. That's my toxic trait.
You have to be like stunning, you know?
What's your advice for someone getting into content creation?
I would say sit with yourself before you start and really know what you want to do, what you want out of it, and how you want to appear to the world. Know your boundaries. I never would have done OnlyFans, honestly. Like, it's given me a lot of opportunities, but it's not really in line with who I am as a person.
What got you into it? Dating a guy?
My best friend told me about it right before quarantine hit. And then
That's really when it kind of blew up, right?
Yeah.
That's when everybody was doing it and they were making like millions of dollars. Like crazy.
Well, and I
income.
couldn't work as a performer, so.
Yeah.
But then I just, like, people just loved me. So I had so many people trying to suck me in. Like, I'm talking girls, guys, couples, like everyone.
Oh, I'm
was
sure
like,
but you probably got a lot of collabs, right? Oh, well,
a lot of people
reaching
wanting
out to do collabs.
Collab.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
people, like, they just wanted to eat me up.
Yeah, literally.
Literally, like, yeah.
I was kind of surprised because it doesn't seem like it's super on brand for her. She's a legit, like, professional performer.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like she likes to manipulate men in a way that some of my other, like, close friends who are girls, they kind of like that.
I like working for Playboy more because it's more about being a model.
Yeah.
But it's not really my thing.
How did you get picked up by Playboy? Because that's awesome. That does seem like it fits you more.
That's more like my style.
Yeah.
And I love working with them. And with OnlyFans, my agent is amazing. Like, they're more of a modeling agency.
Yeah.
And so they manage all my social media, and like, they're very like high-end classy.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I still have one, is because it helps my modeling career a lot. But with Playboy, literally, they DM'd me. I just woke up one day, went in through my inbox, and Playboy had DM'd me.
Yo, that's fucking awesome, by the way. That's like
pretty sick. Like, that was
that's a big
huge
deal.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. So that was really cool.
What are you doing for Playboy?
So I am one of their first digital creators. So I'm on their...
It's about fucking time. I don't understand why these big companies are so slow to jump on the social media bandwagon. It's so ridiculous to me.
And they have a great setup for their creators too. But now they're starting to do more. Like, I've been to their headquarters, and my agency, my modeling agency,
Is it in
works
Chicago
with them a lot.
still?
No, it's here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're here.
I know the Playboy Mansion used to be in Chicago. I know there's been a lot of changes since.
Yeah, they've rebranded a lot.
Yeah, they have.
The way that Playboy is now, I love. It's very different from what it was originally. So
Are they moving more into like clothing? Like they still have a magazine, right?
Yeah, right there.
Okay, but I mean, I can't imagine that like the majority of their sales are like
from magazines, no.
Yeah, from magazines.
Well, that's why they're moving more digital. So it's like now they have like a digital magazine almost. And they're doing a lot. They're rebranding a lot and making a lot of changes. But I feel that they're really building a strong, like, women community. And I really like that.
It's being run by a woman now, isn't it?
I don't fully know, but I know a lot of their staff is women.
I heard you talking to them earlier, doing some little business call.
Yes, I was.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I haven't signed anything yet, so I'm not going to say anything
No,
yet.
of course not. Yeah.